We are pulling back the glossy, heavily manufactured curtain on one of the most stunning television upsets of the entire decade, exposing the gritty, unspoken reality behind the confetti and the flashing cameras. Imagine stepping onto the absolute most intimidating stage in national television, standing under the blinding Hollywood lights, pulling in a completely staggering 26 million individual viewer votes, and entirely shattering network voting records overnight. That was the highly unprecedented reality for a humble physical education teacher who completely dominated the 23rd season of America's most famous singing competition franchise. He was absolutely not just another highly manufactured reality show champion churned out by a corporate machine. He was a historic vocal powerhouse who officially became the second African-American male winner in the show's extensive broadcast history. However, the notoriously ruthless commercial music industry has historically chewed up and aggressively spit out countless competition winners over the years, leaving them completely abandoned once the television cameras finally go dark. This deeply concerning trend leaves millions of highly dedicated fans desperately wondering exactly what happened to Jamal Roberts after the confetti was swept away and the massive recording contracts were allegedly signed. Did he inevitably fall victim to the highly documented reality television curse that has completely destroyed so many promising careers? Or did he secretly navigate the highly treacherous waters of the entertainment business to build a massive musical empire? The entertainment landscape is heavily littered with the shattered dreams of former reality television champions, who simply could not successfully translate their massive network television hype into a highly legitimate, deeply respected, and fiercely independent commercial music career. The absolute sheer amount of intense psychological pressure that is immediately aggressively placed directly upon the heavy shoulders of a newly crowned reality television winner is completely unimaginable to the average everyday citizen. The undeniable truth about his deeply fascinating post-television life in 2026 is incredibly inspiring, but to truly understand his massive, completely undeniable global triumph, our intensive journalistic investigation must absolutely first examine the deep, highly complex, unseen personal struggles he desperately kept hidden from the mainstream viewing public. Long before he was a highly recognizable household name commanding national headlines and trending across every single major digital platform, Jamal was actively living a deeply grounded, incredibly normal everyday life, entirely far away from the blinding, highly superficial Hollywood lights. Our exhaustive investigation takes us directly to the quiet, unassuming streets of Meridian, Mississippi, where he was a fiercely dedicated physical education coach actively working at Crestwood Elementary School. Completely outside of the noisy, highly chaotic school gymnasium and the incredibly demanding daily schedule of a local educator, his entire world deeply revolved around being an incredibly devoted, highly present father to 3 young girls. He frequently explicitly described being a father as the absolute greatest, most profoundly important thing that had ever happened to his entire life, constantly actively balancing his unconditional love and massive financial responsibility for his beautiful daughters, Harmony, Lyric, and Gianna, with his deeply burning, highly undeniable passion for intense vocal performance. He grew up actively discovering his massive vocal talent through his deeply supportive grandparents, who initially recognized his incredibly rare gift and heavily encouraged him to begin regularly singing in his local church choir. His deep, highly profound musical roots were heavily established within the church walls, where he found immense spiritual refuge in the massive power of traditional gospel music, and he also actively developed a deep passion for playing the drums. The intense psychological pressure of trying to actively provide a highly stable, completely secure environment for his young children while simultaneously harboring an impossible, massive global musical dream would be more than enough to completely break an ordinary, highly average man. Yet he made a highly conscious, incredibly brave decision early on to become a dedicated, highly visible provider of immense hope for his local community, rather than simply giving in to the heavy, suffocating despair that so often entirely traps incredibly talented individuals in highly isolated small towns. But that wasn't the whole story. The highly stylized, heavily edited reality television narrative often desperately tries to aggressively sell the naive viewing public a completely flawless, highly manufactured overnight success story. But our intensive journalistic investigation completely shatters that illusion, revealing that Jamal's professional journey actually required a massive, completely unshakable level of fierce personal resilience that heavily borders on the superhuman. Most casual television viewers, and even his most highly dedicated online fans, have absolutely no idea that his highly celebrated 23rd season appearance was absolutely not his very first attempt at trying to aggressively break into the highly guarded, notoriously exclusive commercial music industry. He had actually bravely auditioned for the highly intimidating, deeply heavily scrutinized singing competition on two completely separate, highly agonizing occasions, completely prior to his massive network victory. During his highly devastating second brutal attempt in the cold, completely unforgiving audition room, the notoriously critical celebrity judging panel unexpectedly aggressively demanded to hear a completely different second song. Because he simply had not adequately prepared a highly complex secondary vocal arrangement, he froze and was actively handed a highly crushing, deeply public professional setback that would have easily completely permanently destroyed the artistic ambitions of a significantly weaker, less determined individual. Instead of allowing these incredibly harsh, deeply painful, highly publicized industry rejections to permanently destroy his massive dreams, he brilliantly actively utilized the intense, deeply agonizing disappointment as highly combustible fuel to completely meticulously refine his massive vocal craft in absolute, complete silence, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And what happened next would shock everyone. When he confidently stepped back onto the massive, heavily illuminated broadcast stage for his ultimate, highly anticipated redemption arc, our seasoned entertainment reporters noted that he completely successfully deployed a brilliantly calculated, highly sophisticated musical strategy, heavily designed to completely entirely avoid being unfairly pigeonholed into a single, highly restrictive vocal genre by highly manipulative corporate television producers. He completely flawlessly, incredibly effortlessly transitioned from aggressively singing deeply soulful Rick James classics directly into highly emotional Jelly Roll anthems, and even completely successfully tackled highly demanding Carrie Underwood country ballads, leaving the massive celebrity judging panel absolutely entirely speechless. He even specifically targeted Lionel Richie's known familiarity with Rick James to fiercely highlight his incredible artistic diversity. This massive, completely undeniable display of sheer vocal versatility completely aggressively forced the entire voting nation to pay absolute, undivided attention to his highly magnetic television presence. Critics heavily compared his massive, completely undeniable viral momentum directly to Fantasia's incredibly iconic, highly historic breakout broadcast moment of singing, Summertime back in Season 3. His incredibly relentless, deeply exhausting professional hustle officially perfectly culminated on the highly historic night of May 18, 2025, when he officially, completely undeniably won the entire massive television competition. This was absolutely not just a standard, highly routine network television victory. He successfully actively polled in a completely mind-blowing, highly staggering 26 million individual viewer votes. This completely unprecedented massive surge of highly dedicated public support completely set a massive, highly historic new voting record for the current ABC network broadcast version of the massive reality show, pulling in nearly double the votes of the previous season. Even more profoundly, He officially became the absolute first African-American male winner to successfully claim the highly coveted television crown, since the legendary Ruben Studdard originally completely dominated the highly watched broadcast over 2 decades prior in 2003. The immediate, highly chaotic aftermath of a massive reality television victory is notoriously incredibly dangerous for highly vulnerable new artists. But our intensive tracking of his post-show career data explicitly proves that Jamal completely aggressively defied the terrible, highly documented industry odds that have entirely ruined so many others before him. Following his massive, highly celebrated television victory, he quickly actively released a breathtaking, deeply profoundly emotional recorded cover of the highly acclaimed Tom Odell track titled Heal. This incredibly powerful, highly anticipated initial commercial release did not just casually softly enter the lower ranks of the industry streaming charts. It completely aggressively, violently skyrocketed directly to the absolute highly coveted #1 spot on the fiercely competitive Billboard Hot Gospel Songs chart. Highly respected industry critics and massive legions of dedicated global fans alike were absolutely completely mesmerized by his incredibly, uniquely warm, deeply heavily textured vocal delivery. He completely successfully seamlessly transitioned his massive, highly manufactured television hype directly into highly legitimate, completely undeniable chart-topping commercial success, fiercely proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was entirely completely capable of actively navigating the fierce, highly cutthroat commercial music business without completely losing his deeply authentic, highly grounded Mississippi soul. But his momentum was only just beginning to violently accelerate. Moving aggressively forward into the massive, highly competitive calendar year of 2026, our investigation officially confirms that Jamal successfully, brilliantly elevated his massive musical empire to completely unimaginable, highly historic new heights. He officially successfully released a stunning, highly anticipated live vocal collaboration with the deeply respected, highly acclaimed gospel artist Jonathan McReynolds titled Still. This highly complex, deeply profoundly moving musical track completely successfully captured the absolute undivided attention of the absolute most prestigious, highly guarded gatekeepers in the entire commercial music industry, officially securing him a massive, highly prestigious Grammy Award nomination for Best Gospel Performance in Song. Going from actively working as a physical education coach in a noisy local elementary school gymnasium directly to officially actively securing a highly coveted Grammy nomination in such a remarkably incredibly short period of time is an absolutely terrifyingly rare, completely unprecedented industry achievement. But that was not the entire story, as his massive live performance demand completely violently exploded across the entire United States. He was officially highly tapped to aggressively completely hit the road for massive live performances, deeply heavily preparing to officially tour directly alongside absolute massive rhythm and blues legends Brandy and Monica on their completely sold-out The Boy Is Mine tour. This completely undeniable, highly lucrative live touring schedule proved to the entire highly cynical entertainment industry that he possessed the massive, highly necessary vocal stamina and deeply charismatic stage presence to completely successfully sell out massive commercial venues entirely outside of the highly protective, deeply heavily manufactured reality television broadcast format. Today, actively navigating the incredibly complex, highly predatory modern digital music landscape, Jamal fiercely continues his completely unstoppable, highly lucrative artistic streak by deliberately aggressively utilizing his massive global platform to fiercely completely dominate the spring and summer of 2026. He officially actively released a brand new, highly anticipated original single titled Perfect for Me, which he completely brilliantly returned to perform live directly on the massive American Idol stage in early May of 2026, wearing a stunning velvet suit and creating a massive, completely undeniable full-circle television moment for his incredibly dedicated global fan base. He has completely successfully aggressively broken the notorious reality television curse, successfully completely transforming from a heavily initially doubted broadcast contestant who completely messed up a highly crucial early audition directly into a fiercely unstoppable, highly respected Grammy-nominated global superstar. Ultimately, the massive, highly intimidating television stage was absolutely never his final destination. It was simply the incredibly powerful launching pad for a fiercely devoted father, who entirely absolutely refused to ever completely give up on his incredibly beautiful, heavily undeniable vocal gift.